even if I do think being in that place could be a health and safety hazard, it'd then be up to me to then move away from such a place and be in a space where I would feel safe to then get back to an area where I'd feel comfortable with representing me and what I'd want to do with my life. Yeah, that was what I was gonna say very basically in the video that was unfinished. But I would now like to actually talk about what's gone on so far. Very basically, I have been relapsing with my exercise. I have not been sticking to plan, and I really do think I understand why. I think it's because I be doing exercise at a time which actually threatens my ability to be able to sleep at a specific time with ease. So I've now eliminated doing that. That was very specifically related to work and the time I'd be out to go and do upskilling, very basically to be able to do the job that I do more effectively, which in this case is gym instructing, particularly to do with how I go about coaching classes. But I have now decided to let the people know who are involved with making this happen that I would no longer like to go at that time and do the upskilling. So my ability to be able to sleep at a specific time is no longer anywhere near as much at risk as it once was before. But my sleeping pattern is something I definitely would have to work on because of work timing, and that rather unfortunately being later than it has been in the past. So it's going to be up to me to be able to work around that and actually have a solid night's rest and still wake up at a time that I consider ideal regardless. I don't want to do what that plays about my sleep anymore, man. I definitely believe that anyone that does any work of any kind definitely does choose their own hours, even if they are employed rather than self-employed, because it's them that's signing the contract. And I believe that that rule applies to me as well. And I'd like to eventually be able to move away from doing work which would be in either afternoon and approaching the evening or just within the evening. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't even want to really do work when it's either becoming light or whether it's bright and nowhere near the evening. That's definitely something that I could work on. It's just to do with progression, really. I think that's what my ability to be able to move on would rely on progression with what I do in terms of how I go about getting what I'd want in that regard, and also just in life in general. So, cheers to making it happen. Yeah. Today I wrote a massive email to my course tutors for the level 4 advanced personal training course I'm currently doing, which is the highest level that an individual could go to with their learning, excluding specializations. The level 4 is a degree equivalent as far as I'm aware. And when it comes to money making, I'm in a situation which I don't want to be in, and I'm doing what it takes to be able to move out of that situation gradually. Speaking of, within that email, I read between the lines of what I was saying, and the main message that I got when going out my way to read in between the lines was, in order to get from A to B, to be able to get to a direction or a place I'd want to go, it's up to me to be able to identify an issue and solve it to an outstanding standard which permanently solves the issue. If I could do that, then my money troubles will permanently be over. On the premise that I also live below my means permanently. At this point, I am on the verge of doing the complete opposite because of how much gym rent would cost. But although I've saved for gym rent and I have gym rent reserves, I haven't saved reserves for any other expense I have. And that's how I messed up when it came to the money that I'd invest for this transition period in which I'd be going from working part-time as a gym instructor only to doing that, and also working independently under the business that I've made within that gym, which I'd be getting charged for in the form of gym rent. If I could go back, I would do that. I hadn't realised I hadn't done that, but I think that would have been difficult to do regardless. But yeah, that definitely would have helped if I had not only put down reserves for gym rent but also for every other expense. Then I wouldn't have got to a position where I think that I have to move on somehow. However, that said, long term, moving on from where I'm currently working might really help me in ways that I have planned and in ways I don't have planned. So cheers to making that happen. And I could definitely say, for future reference, I have learnt from that mistake. That was a rookie error. But then again, when it came to such savings, I was at a rookie level. So fair enough, got to start somewhere. So yeah, that's that. This is very relevant to the video. I wanted to talk about relapse as well. So I was thinking that I really didn't drink anywhere near as much water as I would want to, and as much as I usually would yesterday, after coming back, the day after coming back from this upskilling that I was doing. And I think that would be a part of why I would find it difficult to keep on doing what I would want to be doing on a daily basis. The power of dehydration. It's something that I've spoken about in the past, but I was getting on to 2 years ago now. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, it's getting on 2 years ago. I think it was April 2022, so literally 2 months, and that would have been 2 years ago. I would have made that video, and within that video, I just felt, I just looked drained, and I'd say I feel that way at the moment, but maybe not as much as I do drink more. And the amount that I've gone out my way to drink on a daily basis definitely does help me stay sane in the head, which then is a starting point for me to be able to keep on doing what I want to do on a daily basis. Without that, and also without exercising, or even if it's an active rest day, without doing that, then it just, my way of life just seems to become an absolute mess the instant I don't follow through with the checklists that I have in mind, or the checklist, sorry, that I'm looking at, that I would usually use to help me out. And the closer I follow through with everything on this checklist, the more ideal I perceive my way of life is going. Pardon me. But yeah, I definitely have gone out my way to eliminate that threat with the upskilling that I would be going to on a regular basis, because of when it happens, regardless of how pleasant the experience is, I just find it too difficult to actually stay on top of what I want to do for days on end after that, because of when it is and how I would respond to when it is. That's what, in my opinion, matters most. how I'd respond to it, and I just would never respond to it well. So I'm just, in my opinion, so I'm just getting rid of it because I just find it's not helpful. But yeah, very basically, I did plan to do more things and be way more physically active than I have, but I think I'll just leave that for tomorrow. Allow myself to get more active that way. And to be fair, I would have followed through with training 5 days a week. So I still would have, in that regard, achieved that goal. But yeah, anyway, that's that. I might get a little bit of exercise in today and then, yeah, have a solid night's rest. But I'm feeling way too physically active at the moment. I feel really alert, and I reckon that if I don't physically exert myself, I'm going to have a rough night's sleep because I'd have a lot of energy in me to keep going. Probably, especially at my age, when I have no grey hairs. I have brown hairs over here. It's a little shade of brown, but yeah, I think regardless, even if I do have energy, regardless of which age I get to before I do die, I don't think it will matter if I feel really energetic or energized, then I'm going to find it difficult to sleep. That's just human nature, I think.